Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. This is Two Catholic Dudes, our Christmas extravaganza. My name is Ryan Klaus.
And my name is Danny Cleary.
This is episode 21, and as always,
a Christmas story.
I was going to do it, and you cut me off. We are not priests, we are not theologians. Oh. We are just two Catholic dudes, and we're talking about our faith.
And today, we're talking about Christmas.
We're talking about Christmas. Man.
Tomorrow is Christmas Eve.
It's not, though.
It's not, but for all of you viewers.
Right.
Tomorrow is Christmas Eve.
Unless you're listening in the future. Then tell us what it's like in the future. What are the flying cars like and the hoverboards? Are they cool? Guys, it's super late. It's super late. Danny drove down here today. Today's Gaudete Sunday for us.
Not anymore.
Oh man,
it's Monday.
It's Monday now. All right, Danny drove down. We filmed last week's episode, and now we're filming Christmas, and it's like 1 a.m. And
we gotta get it done.
We're rolling through because, like in the last episode, we were talking about you do what it takes. If something's important to your life, you do what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're rocking our Christmas suits.
Yeah. I didn't put on a collared shirt. I just put this jacket on over, so I couldn't even wear the tie.
I got it on.
As we're talking about the attention to detail and like putting it effort, I was like, but I didn't want to put on a collared shirt. So.
But so the funny story about these suits is we bought them. Ryan got his for you posted on our Instagram. You did like a music video.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, my buddy Jamie Lewis. If you guys are into like super amazing bass players, not like the fishing like bass player. Okay. He's
like
bass. People, it's spelled the same. When they see, they're like, I always forget if it's bass or bass. It's bass, okay? He's a bass player on YouTube, Jamie Lewis. He's one of the top rated YouTube musicians out there. So he's a friend of mine, and I got to go and I did a few. We did that Thriller video that I put out there, and then the next year
medley or whatever.
Yeah, we did. No, it was just what's it called? It's that
This Christmas.
This Christmas, yeah. So we did that. That was like 3 years ago already. But you know what's funny? The Thriller video that we did. It has like 800,000 views.
Nice.
On his channel. And then I go and I look it up, that Christmas song. It has like 1,400. It's funny. I was like, sometimes just things
pick up.
Pick up. They just click. So, but yeah, so I got that for that video. And then we're like, dude, let's wear these for a Christmas party at our church.
Yeah, we had a staff Christmas party, and Ryan and I showed up in these full-on. We had pants and everything that matched, like full-on Christmas suits.
Yeah.
And it was a big talking point.
Yeah, everyone else was just like whatever outfits, and we're just like coming in to the nines in our Christmas suits. I mean, these are like also they're paper,
like from Target. Yeah,
it's literally like I'm wearing a piece of paper.
I feel like
now.
I'm gonna rip mine. So.
But the coolest picture we've ever taken is like after that Christmas party, we went over and we had to like decorate the tree at the front.
Yeah, we did like a photo
vestibule.
shoot. Yeah.
And so it's me putting the star on top of the tree, but like Danny's lifting me up.
Yeah, we'll post it on our Instagram so you guys can see it.
It's pretty funny. So yeah, we still got the suits, and we're like, we got to wear them for the podcast. So another incentive for you guys to be watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you can,
once see us. You can just, or it'll probably be a photo, and then that'll be the end of it.
That's the end of it, right? We're in our new location. One of our new locations. This is the place that I'm living at. It's got a already built-in podcast studio. It's pretty cool. So this is possibly the backdrop that you'll be seeing on some episodes. But I'm digging it. It's cool. We're closer. You know?
We are closer for sure.
The other table was kind of far away. We're a little distant, so we get to connect with each other. And I don't know. Maybe you guys can see less than, because it was also like you only see, especially when we had a guest on.
I didn't see my pants.
Yeah, we get to turn towards the camera a little bit. When we get a guest on, though, we would always be like talking to the guests, and like they literally just see the back of like this mop of hair the whole time.
I do like the circular table.
It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Comment in if you like the circular table, or if you like seeing the back of my head the whole time.
Yeah. So
Christmas, we're here. How did it happen so quickly?
I know. It's crazy. But here we are. Christmas is different for you for the first time with your new job. You've been doing kind of the same Christmas routine for the last however long you've been doing it at Holy Cross.
Yeah.
And it's actually throwing off my routine a little bit too, that you not being there. Because I used to go to like every mass because we'd all hang out afterwards. So,
right.
What do you got going on for Christmas this year?
I saw a funny meme the other day. It was just it was like a two-parter. The first part was like somebody asking a little kid a question, and it's like, what are you excited for Christmas? Or like, what do you, something like that. And then the next slide, they go like, nothing. My parents are musicians. Because it was just, we don't have time to do anything else this entire season. We're rehearsals, we're preparing, we're playing at 30 different Christmas masses. So that's kind of the way I feel about the situation right now. Right. So it's like such a magical season. I'm like, I mean, when we're recording this, there's only a few, like 9 days left to shop. And I'm like, I have not even thought about shopping for anyone in my family yet because I've just been like inundated with planning, with printing out copies, with organizing, with hiring musicians, with running rehearsals. And then, actually I'm doing I'm playing it and directing 5 masses. I'm in charge of overseeing 7 of them. And it's pretty crazy, So I have a
change from your normal 2.
No, I used to do 3.
3.
Actually,
St. Julie's.
My Christmas Eve was always pretty crazy because I would do 1 at 5:00 at St. Julie's, and really quickly I would have to drive the 15-minute drive to Holy Cross for 7:30, and they would I would have people already setting up and getting ready because I would just pop in like at about 7:10, and we would start prelude music at 7:15.
Right.
And then like right after that mass, the adults would start coming in for our 10:30 midnight mass. That I don't know when that became a tradition. Like I remember as a kid going to midnight mass at midnight. Was that a thing when you were a kid or no?
It may have been a thing.
Yeah.
Just nothing we always went to like 7:30.
Right.
Because we'd always go with my grandma at 7:30, and then my dad, we would drive around and look at Christmas lights.
Okay.
So that was like our thing.
But like my new church, their midnight mass, in quotes, again, I'm air quoting if you're listening, it's at 10 p.m. That's the latest mass. So like at your churches, Covington, do you guys have a true midnight mass still? Or is it earlier? And what does that say about where our culture is at? I mean,
is midnight mass Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Well, okay, there's different masses in the lectionary cycle. So if you go to usccb.com.org, .gov, .net, there's different options for reading. So if you're celebrating mass, it's probably like the kids mass for every church, like the 4 p.m., 4:30. Technically, is that too early to be celebrating mass for a vigil? Anyways, whatever. It's like always the children's mass. They have the children's choir. It's at my church too. It's 4 p.m. Anyways, there's a mass
because they have to go to bed at like 6 because Santa comes.
Santa comes. You got to get out the milk and cookies. And what do you put out for reindeer? Carrots. Put out the carrots for the reindeer.
Some people have like reindeer food.
We never did that in my family. It was just milk and cookies. Yeah. But so in the lectionary, there's a set of readings for that time of masses. They call it that's like the Christmas vigil, right? And then the midnight mass. It's called Christmas at the nighttime, at the night or something like that. In the nighttime, it's for those later masses. And then there's a dawn, a set of readings for if you celebrate like a 6 a.m. mass or something like that on Christmas.
I've heard of that for Easter. I didn't know that was a Christmas thing.
Yeah, unless I might be mistaken. It's again late. And then there's another one for Christmas morning. Now, you guys can yell at me, and I don't know why I'm just saying this, but I'm always my own worst liturgy police when it comes to picking the right responsorial psalms and songs that go with that lectionary cycle. But like the psalm that speaks to me for Christmas is Today Our Savior is Born, which is Psalm, I forget off the top of my head, but that's the one that was in the lectionary cycle for the nighttime masses.
Okay.
And so, yeah, go ahead and yell at me if you don't like that I do this, but I'm going to do that for all the masses instead of doing the psalms for the other that are recommended for the other masses. Because, I don't know, that's I think it gels together all the readings for me in terms of being a liturgist. Okay. So, I don't know.
Right on.
So, bring it on.
Cool.
Let's debate. So, yeah, those are the different lectionary cycles. Why did we get on this? What
that's your thing, man.
That's my thing.
It's all good.
It's weird. So I've always just been a music director. Now I'm in charge of liturgy as well. So I'm a full-time
really expanded
music and liturgy.
Your whole thing.
So I used
to just go to mass I would go with my family at 7:30, and then I would hang out and go to 10:30 because you and my brother were in the choir. So then we used to go to Denny's.
Denny's was our thing after mass. Yeah.
Denny's closes now.
Oh yeah,
in where we live.
Right. So again, comment in. Do you guys have a true midnight mass, or is it early? And do you have a 6 a.m. or like a sunrise mass? Because I know that's more of an Easter thing, but I think some churches still do that for Christmas.
Yeah.
I am thankful, even though I kind of like the pious nature of a true midnight mass. I would be a wreck if I did music at midnight and then I'd get home at like 2:30 in the morning and then wake up and do a 6 a.m. And I was like, get out of here.
I think that's probably why it changed at like our parish, because we only had one priest for the time being, and like.
Right.
You're doing midnight mass. You're getting home at like what, 1:30, 2 in the morning.
2 probably.
And then you're shooting back over for 7:30, 7:45 mass, 8 o'clock mass.
Right.
That's tough.
It's a lot.
You want to give each mass your best.
Exactly. Yeah, we talked about that in the last episode. Like Christmas and Easter, that's when you get so many people coming into church that don't often do it. What did you CEO Catholics?
Yep.
They're Christmas and Easter only. So use that as an opportunity to evangelize them,
right,
and put your best foot forward and make sure those liturgies are absolutely beautiful. And if you're not getting enough rest as a priest, then yeah, maybe it's time to make that decision to make that midnight mass early, because you want to be able to wake up refreshed the next morning and deliver that homily, or be so inviting to people and make that liturgy absolutely special and make people want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Anyways, let's talk about something fun. Christmas movies. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Favorite Christmas movie? Probably it's got to be
Field of Dreams.
It took place over a long time, so maybe okay. I'm gonna say Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
I watch it every year. I haven't watched it yet, but I gotta squeeze that in.
Sure. Mine is always Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
All right.
I love that movie.
I think the second, I like Home Alone. It's not like Christmas, but it's a Christmas movie.
Okay, well, see, I was having this debate the other day, and is Die Hard a Christmas movie or is Home Alone a Christmas movie? Because like they're not really about Christmas. Right. They happen around Christmas time.
Yeah.
But like,
I think everyone says, or Die Hard's always one that people debate. It's not really, but there's the song they play at the end is a Christmas song.
Sure.
It's the most wonderful. But like Home Alone, I think is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
John Williams' score of Home Alone is on point, and they strategically had him score all these songs that sound like other Christmas songs.
Sure.
So like when they miss their flight, and the score that plays in the background is like exactly like that the really fast one from the Nutcracker. Like everything just like it just feels Christmassy in the music and the look and the feel. Like it's a Christmas movie to me.
Cool. Yeah. I think they're both Christmas. I think anything that you want to feel like it's a Christmas movie, it's a Christmas movie. Like, I'm not really too particular. Sure, why not? Let it be a Christmas movie.
Sure.
Do you feel Christmassy when you watch it? Christmas movie.
Yeah. Die Hard's a great movie, though. Love it.
Like that ABC Family, when they used to do 25 Days of Christmas, they put like Harry Potter on that because there's a one scene in Harry Potter where they're at Christmas. So
you know what makes people mad sometimes? I haven't seen most of the Harry Potters. I haven't seen the last two. Like, I don't even know how it ends. Maybe Voldemort.
I don't remember. I've only seen them. I've probably seen them one time through. So
yeah, I'll get there sometime.
So, anyways, but yeah, I was always going the Christmas movie debate with. I've been having it with the teenagers at church a lot recently at youth ministry.
What qualifies it as a Christmas movie?
We've been doing the Elf versus the Grinch debate because they're very similar, like comedies.
Okay.
We've been having that big debate, and I will always advocate for the Grinch. I think
Elf's pretty good.
Elf's a good movie. I just think the Grinch is a lot. I think Grinch is funnier, and I think that overall the message is better.
All right. How does it speak to you?
I just that he
pretend I'm Team Elf. How are you going to sway me?
I would say that the Grinch, the end of the Elf is about you need the spirit of Christmas to make Santa, be able to deliver his toys. or something like that. That was it. That like the world needed more Christmas spirit, but it was it was about still the spirit of Santa and elves and all that stuff, and which is great, and whatever. It's a movie, but the Grinch was about at the end. It was him improving as a human, or as a whatever he is. To learn that it wasn't just about the stuff, but it was about the connection with people and the love for people. And during the holidays, it's about being your best self and caring for one another, regardless of what you have or how much or how little, but to care for each other, no matter what your circumstances may be. And that's why I like the Grinch.
It's beautiful. I heard somebody. I think it was another meme. They said, if you look at everything that the Grinch had in his lair was all stuff that was thrown out by by people from the village.
Yeah.
Does that mean someone threw out the dog?
I hope. Max?
Max, that's his name.
Yeah. I hope not.
That'd be sad.
But maybe.
Maybe.
Ooh,
man.
Anyway.
Favorite Christmas song? I didn't have an answer when I asked you.
Oh, Come Emmanuel.
Okay, so that's like Advent song.
Yeah. But it's on my Christmas playlist.
Like the traditional version?
Yeah, I guess. Or either that or I like Last Christmas by Wham.
What?
I love that song.
No, that's not even a Christmas song. We were talking about
Why not?
They just, the first words are Last Christmas, and then it just talks about, what is it? Last Christmas.
I was just recently listening to that. I guess here's the deal.
It's a breakup song, and then he just says that it happened around Christmas.
Okay, then I can't give you a specific Christmas song,
okay,
but music that I will associate with Christmas for the rest of my life,
okay,
is the Carpenters' Christmas album.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this. Have we talked about it on the podcast? I don't remember.
I don't know. My dad, since I've can remember, we don't start opening presents until Carpenters is on.
I think that's why we became best friends, because my family had the exact same tradition.
So Little Altar Boy, that's my favorite song.
Little Altar Boy on their double. It's a double album, the Christmas album,
and it's like the elves are painting a portrait of them on the cover.
Yeah, dude. We had the actual record of that.
Oh man,
or double record or whatever.
Wow,
it's we had a record. That's how old. But we had a record player, and we would put on the record while we opened presents.
Yeah,
but the same deal.
It just played all day.
We could not open presents till we turned those on. Yeah. Or to put that on.
Yeah.
Anyone else have that? Is that just us? And is do we just become best friends because of that, or is that a common thing? Is this everyone's tradition?
I have no idea. My dad and now I love the Carpenters' Christmas.
Karen Carpenter, amazing voice. So sad.
Yeah, but so I guess that would be my favorite Christmas music is the Carpenters, because of all the memories that it holds in my heart.
Yeah, oh man, that album is just gorgeous. Yeah. It's dynamite. Yeah, Christmas music for me. We talked about it on a podcast before with Brendan. The Christmas Eve Sarajevo. So the one we did that we played for the closing song, where we just
the medley,
the mashup of all the
rock and roll Carol the Bells.
I'm just kidding. Oh Holy Night. You can't beat it for me. It's Oh Holy Night.
Sure.
It's we talked about it last week, the skit that you do for the retreat. No matter how many times I've seen that skit, I cry. I don't know if I cry for Oh Holy Night, but it gets me,
Yeah.
It's such a powerful song, and music speaks to people so much that and that song in particular, it's moving.
Yeah.
Whether I'm singing it, where somebody else does it, where I'm just listening, where I'm playing, it doesn't matter.
So here's a question for you then. Because this has been a big phenomenon lately, and it's been a big question we've been asking in the church for a long time, is how do we keep Christ in Christmas? Because Christmas is probably the most commercial holiday.
Right.
Or has become the most commercial holiday.
Absolutely.
But how do we, as Catholics, make Christ the center?
You're asking me, or are we asking?
Yeah. Well, I'm asking generally, but I'm asking you because you're the only one here.
That is true. Anybody else? Bueller. How do we make?
Or how do you?
How do I make Christ the center of Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, again, I'm always focusing on everything that I do liturgically, and
right.
again, turning our faith up to 11 on our social media presence and everything. And I mean, I haven't had time to think about any of the secular part of Christmas yet, but everything that I do is showing all the work that we're putting into liturgy and putting into the focus of the Mass and the fact that we're going to celebrate Christ's birth and we're going to celebrate him coming into our lives, right? And so the presents are nice. The way I say, you know, everybody always says this. I said this a little prior to the kindergartners that I was running rehearsal from. I was like, the presents are nice, but the real presence of Christ in our heart is what it's all about.
Right.
And so, but yeah, how do you get past the noise of the secular Christmas? That's the question. And I don't have an easy answer right now. I don't know if you have.
I don't really either. I would say that make sure that every time that like all the great things that come from Christmas, the feeling of the giving season, the joy, the excitement, the cookie making and the decorating and all that good stuff that comes from it, all of that comes from Christ. Like our first joy should be that we have Christ, and because of Christ's birth, we get to celebrate all this great stuff in all these cool ways.
Yeah, and it's like we said,
but it should stem from the joy of Christ.
Knowing that, it stems from the joy of Christ, and we get these feelings this time of year. It's a little bit of nostalgia, but it's a little bit of just the fact that it's treating your neighbors with kindness and goodness and love, and that's what Christ's message is all about. And we don't have to just feel that way in December,
right?
You know, in March when we're bogged down by schoolwork and work at your career or whatever. Like, you can feel that same joy and love of Christ,
right?
Always.
Well, and I think that like it's making it. Incorporating faith into these traditions. I'll give an example of when I was little, we would always, Christmas Eve, we'd go to Mass, and then we'd always come back, and there was always like, we had books on like the coffee table as decorations that we'd read them as kids. Mm-hmm. And it was like 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and stuff like that. But we always had this book called The Small One. And it was about a donkey that like this kid was trying to sell this donkey because he was too small. And nobody wanted to buy it because he was like too small and he sucked and whatever. And then they sold it to this couple that was traveling a long way and ended up being Mary and Joseph. Mm-hmm. But it made the Christmas story a relevant, moment on our Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Like, remember, guys, that we're reading all these stories about Christmas, and this is one of those stories. This is the main focus. And so I really commend my parents for always incorporating that into the traditions and things like that. So, little stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's making it a priority as parents too, for your kids to pass on those traditions, because there's so many secular traditions and a lot of them are great. That's cool. They're fun. But making sure that they know also why we're doing this, what's the importance of this season. And so like throwing in those little books like that's wonderful. That's amazing. Being able to connect together with a family through the love of Christ in this season. And I think that will help inspire people to take that feeling that you get again and carry it throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So little things like that. Now, the exciting part is we were diving in, we were talking about the Gospels because we always hear like the Christmas story on, like, I think that when we tell the Christmas story or when you see it on TV or when you hear about it in songs or whatever, they get mashed together, right? Or like everyone's nativity is like,
they take the good whatever parts they want to take from
the nativities are everything's all swished together. But like the shepherds and the Magi are in two completely different Gospels. Mm-hmm. We were talking about that, how like the Gospel of Matthew is like literally like super short. It's like 18 to 20. It's like verse 18 to 25.
Cliff Notes version.
And then the Magi is its whole other separate group of verses. And then the Gospel of Luke is like, it explains the census and it goes all the way through about the manger and the shepherds and the angels and all this crazy stuff.
I love that one now, Luke's Gospel. I didn't understand it at all when I was a kid. I'm like, why are we hearing about the census? What does this have to do with anything?
Yeah.
But I heard Bishop Barron give a little YouTube talk about it, and it's so cool because it's just the sheer contrast of Caesar Augustus represented everything that was powerful in this world. He was the most powerful person.
Yeah,
on
he
the
commanded, go and roll wherever you came from.
Yeah, and so that was the way to display this worldly power as at the start of that gospel reading. And then completely how Jesus comes and everything he does in this world is completely contrasted and opposite of what we would expect. And so we thought that when Jesus would come down here that he would come with armies and take him in, but he came in the most humble, the most opposite way that we thought, as a helpless little child, defenseless,
in the most, not in a palace,
right?
In the scriptures it says in a manger, in a stable. Yeah. So. And
a manger, again, everything is a little bit more romanticized when you're a kid. You see, he's in this little manger, but it's literally a food trough for pigs.
Literally, they just put some cloth down like that,
right?
But it was probably nasty.
Yeah, I mean,
the beautiful little the little creches and things that are put in churches. It's this looks so nice. That wasn't so bad. It was probably freezing cold, disgustingly dirty, smelled so bad.
Mm-hmm. There's so many there's so many beautiful symbolisms in the way he came. Is because he was in this food trough. Jesus is our bread of life, and he was literally.
Wow, I never even thought about that.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. He was right there. I just rocked your world right now.
Rocked my world. Wow.
Yeah. So
look at Ryan coming up with the theological cool stuff.
You didn't think I could? I'm always the comic relief, but I gave you one theological
that's amazing
for you. Yeah. So Jesus was right there, essentially on a plate for as the bread of life, and then they also wrapped in swaddling clothes. So that was everything was kind of symbolizing the way he would die and his death and everything too. So wrapped in swaddling, that's the way that they would bury somebody. Right.
Yep. I knew that one.
And when we talk about the Epiphany, there's a lot of symbolisms there with his. We'll get into.
Yeah, I always saw I liked one that was because it's always depicted that Mary rode in on a donkey. They rode a donkey to Bethlehem, and then Jesus famously rode in on a donkey to Jerusalem. Before his passion and death. And I always that Mary rode into the world, to bring Jesus into the world, rode in on a donkey. And on Jesus' last place he rode on earth, he rode in on a donkey.
Exactly.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It's
super cool.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
So that contrast in the gospel, again, having the everything powerful in this world, and then talking about the real Savior.
The true power coming in the most humble way.
Right.
Outstanding.
And not with armies of people with whatever they had, spears and
pikes and swords,
right,
and whatever.
But with an army of angels that's more powerful than anything that you could ever imagine in this world.
Yeah. Awesome. Crazy.
Let's take a break and hear about any other weird Christmas traditions you got.
Yep. So one wacky tradition that I've had for the last couple of years, and it's become a thing of its own, is my mom has a little Christmas village. I think a lot of people have them. It's
that's a thing.
Little villages, and people have it's they have a whole room of Christmas.
And you have
villages.
to get there's so many different brands that you have to get that same brand. Otherwise
my mom just has one that she got at Costco, and 5 buildings, and that's it.
If someone gifts you I'll give you a figurine or a house from this other one, you have this giant figure there.
They're no. So my mom has had the same Christmas village for years. So a couple of years ago, I decided how funny would it be if I put something that didn't belong in Christmas Town in Christmas Town. Nice. So I think the first year I did a polar bear, up in the mountains. And mom was like, "What is this?" And then every year I would up it. I would put the funniest one I ever did is I went to Michael's, the craft store, and they have toys, and there was an ice dragon. And I put it on top of a building, just overtaking Christmas Town.
It's Game of Thrones, right? Yeah,
and the people would come over Christmas, what is going on with this town? And I was like, Danny just bleh. But honestly, now my mom's liked it so much that she decorates it. Now the Grinch is in there and stuff, and my brother will send me pictures Mom's kind of messed with Christmas Town, and I love it.
And that's that you guys are out of the house now, and that's kind of ways that you can still live on. The
tradition, yeah.
That I'm sure that's hard, parents, empty nesters, they're oh, whatever silly things my kids did, I genuinely miss that now that they're not at home.
Yeah, and so when my brother sent me the picture that my mom had still kind of messed with her own Christmas Town because I wasn't there to do it, and I mean, this episode's coming out before. I'm going to take care of it beforehand, but like I've got some plans. I'm going to still mess with the Christmas time when she's at work or something, and I'm going to
nice.
So I got some plans, but like that was something I always like love to do, and like it was a fun little tradition.
Yeah.
So
I don't really have anything fun like that. I remember when I was really little, my brother he had always like these ingenious ideas of how we could like wake our parents up, because when you're a little kid, you want to.
It's a big deal.
Like you're so excited to get up, and your parents are like just so excited to sleep in, probably.
Oh yeah. Well, my dad was rule is like 7 a.m. is when you're allowed to knock on the door.
Yeah, but so I think they made a rule like that. I don't remember what time it was, but my brother would he would like have these notes, and he would like slide them under the door, and like I don't. It was every year it got like more and more involved, and I'm sure they thought it was adorable.
Of course,
we were like 18 and 22 years old. No, I'm just kidding. We were we were little kids, and we were just like.
It was just last year, and I was like, it was wild.
Now I mean I've been out of the house for quite some time, and so and like we don't have a big family, like I said,
right?
So there's not a lot of those traditions that have carried on, but it's just it is nice to see my folks.
Well, and this is a weird Christmas for me because it's my first year ever, first Christmas Eve that like I'm not sleeping at my parents' house.
Aww.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna like wake up at my own house and drive there in the morning. Yeah.
That's how it goes.
It's weird.
Adulting. Great job.
Yeah.
You did it.
I mean, we have a Christmas tree at our house. Me and my roommates, we're all doing gifts and there's stuff like that. But like
we were trying to get this podcast at his house. We'd go behind with the Christmas tree there, but like timing, you get this. You get
the blinds and Christmas suits. Yeah. But yeah, so like, interesting. Speaking of other Christmas traditions, so most good Catholic families, hopefully,
probably
have nativity scenes. Right? My family has one. I'm sure your family has one.
Yep.
Some families I know have like multiple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When do you put Jesus in the nativity?
Yeah, like my family.
Is he out the whole time? When decorations go up, is he out? Or do you wait and not put him out till Christmas Day?
I mean, my answer is, we would put him out Christmas Eve.
Yeah, my family was always after we got home from Mass.
Exactly. That's what we would do too.
We put him there.
Yep. Dude, same traditions. But like that's probably standard. I'm assuming most of you do that, but does anyone just leave Jesus in the manger from day one when you put it up?
Right.
And that's fine if you do. But maybe you'd never thought about it.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
A fun little thing. Okay, but then here's the other question is, where are the Magi or the wise men?
Okay, so at home, right? Not at Mass or in your sanctuary space. At home, we would kind of we would leave them off to the side, and then as the week went on, we would like have them go closer and closer.
Yeah, like that's how cool my mom is. My mom would be like, they'd travel. They were like, they're traveling, so it would start on the coffee table,
right?
And then they'd go to the bookshelf.
Oh, that's pretty
and
far.
Then they'd go to the mantle place, and then they'd go here and there. I think like Christmas Day, they ended up getting there. Like we didn't wait until all the way to the Epiphany, maybe.
Right.
I can't really remember, but like I remember like my mom like put in effort, be like, oh, where did the wise men go today, boys? And we were like, oh, this is so cool.
Putting in the effort. It's the attention to details, it's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I know at our parish, like they start over at the baptismal font and then they make their way over to the
just over 3 weeks. So Christmas Eve they're far left, and then the Holy Family Sunday they're like middle. Yeah, and then Epiphany they're there. They made it all the way.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. And and Jesus gets part of Christmas, the 4:30 Christmas Eve Mass, the first one, the children's Mass.
So they carry him.
They carry him in. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, there was like, this might spark some heated debate, but there was like one lady who was in liturgical dance. She was a part of a group or whatever, and so she would use opportunities to do her liturgical dancing. But she danced
like with Jesus over her head.
Yeah. So they like played a song, and she danced him all around the church, and then put him in the manger at the end.
Whatever.
It was cool. I mean, I was really young, but it was the thing. Comment in if you would like baby Jesus dance to the manger.
One of my only like experiences with liturgical dances. Do you remember when we were at Congress that one year and we like randomly stumbled into that like angels thing, and it was like a Christmassy thing?
That was with Tony Alonso. Good
friend Tony Alonso. And like we had our friend Monica. Remember that she was the head of the liturgical. I remember it was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. I was like, this is wild.
They were dancing all over the place.
It was super cool, but I was like, this is insane.
There's a lot of very opinionated people on liturgical dance, and
there's a lot of very opinionated people in the Catholic world, I've learned.
And It is what it is, but
Merry Christmas to all of you.
Our friend Monica, she's in charge of that group. She does a phenomenal job.
I remember I was blown away by this like angel extravaganza. I was like, we went in there to take a break.
Yeah.
From like, we're like, let's just get away from everything. And I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Liturgical dance.
Anyway. So all of this great stuff we've been talking about today, you know, comment in. When do you put Jesus in? Where do you put your Magi? What are your Christmas traditions? We want to hear from you. We want to talk about
Christmas movies, Christmas songs.
Yeah, the whole shebang. Give us the
Christmas
download.
Suits.
But the biggest thing about Christmas we talk about is gifts is a big part of Christmas. And a huge gift for us this past year has been this podcast, truly. And everyone that supports us and everyone that's watched us, everyone that's tuned in, it's really been an incredible thing for us, for our friendship, for our ministries, for our growth in our faith. And we hope that it's been a welcome part of your faith journeys as well. And we hope to continue to be in 2020, you know, part of your faith life. So thank you for, the gift of this podcast in our life.
Amen.
Because if you weren't listening, then we'd be just talking to each other.
And we do that.
We do that enough.
Too much. No, we do it just enough. Yeah. But it's great, and especially because, you know what? Sometimes when people move away, it's like you're like, oh no, we're always gonna be friends.
Yeah.
And you will, but like you kind of just the distance. And takes its toll, and you start.
Yeah, and the busy schedules.
Right, and we have busy lives and everything, but like this gives us an excuse to continue that friendship,
right.
And to again we made that commitment to continue this podcast, and so it gives us an excuse to keep our friendship as strong as ever, and so we appreciate you guys giving this gift of listening and watching and commenting and being a part of this community with us, because that's what makes us continue, and that's what's going to help our friendship continue as well through this distance and this time.
Yeah. So with that, I think we're gonna wrap up.
We're gonna wrap up.
Hopefully
you've already wrapped.
Hopefully you already wrapped by now. But my dad was notorious. Like I think he probably just did it to play with us, but he would always like. We always like, Dad, what'd you get? My mom was like, oh, I'll figure it out. And then like December 24th, he'd come in like, oh, just made it. I'm like, you were hiding in your car. Nice. Anyway, I was like, you're a legend. But Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you guys.
As always, follow us on everything, Instagram, Twitter,
do all
Patreon,
the things.
all that good stuff. But have a Merry Christmas. We are praying for you. We hope that you have an amazing day with your family, your friends. Hope Santa brings you everything that you wanted. But we hope more than ever that you rejoice in the Savior is born. And
Amen.
See you on the next one.
All right.
Peace.